Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have the first tasting of my small batch rye IPA Batch 7. This one is a little different from all the other ones, and it's probably a little older. I didn't even look. It's been sitting out. I've done the other 6, and the marker or whatever I used has come off, but I can find out on the page. So this is a 1.25 gallon batch going into the fermenter. 2 pounds, 1 ounce of Vienna Malt. So on most of them I used 2-row. Then on batch 6 I used white wheat. And then on this one I used Vienna. 5.5 ounces of caramel, 5.5 ounces of rye, 3.7 ounces of flaked rye. For the boil, this is an hour boil, 0.28 ounces of Centennial at 60, 0.28 ounces of Centennial and Chinook at 5. Dry hop, 0.24 ounces of Centennial, 0.12 ounces of Amarillo and Chinook. So batch 1, batch 6, and batch 7 have the same hops, same grain bill, except for the main grain. So main grain, so 2-row, white wheat, and Vienna Malt. This was bottled on 6.6. It finished at 8 bricks, so 8.44%. If you've been following me, you'll know I would rather make small batches than a 5-gallon batch, because if I make a 5-gallon batch, then I have to drink it all and make another one. So if I make these small batches, then I can make more. I wouldn't say at a time. I can make 2 or 3 in a day and then have more to review. So that's why I'm doing this. Good hiss, good smoke. US-05 yeast was used. For all these, US-05 was used. I'm thinking about making a couple more batches using different yeast just to see what that does to that rye. So this one has been sitting out for an hour. So beers 1 through 6 have taken me a little over an hour to review. So that's why the condensation's on there. This is probably a little warmer. It's still cold. I would probably drink it at this temp. Usually what I do for these is I do pull them all out. I'll drink the first one a little cold or a little colder than all the rest of them. I usually line them up on the side over here. But I am planning on doing a side-by-side review of all 7 of them once I'm done with this one. So we'll see how that goes. Off-white, tannish color head. Translucent in the middle because it's coming up as almost an orange color. Okay, I'm back at sneeze. About a quarter finger of head. Man, that's clear. Clear, I can see the bell sign. I can see the light box. Copper color. Light copper in color, I guess. But that thing is clear. That Vienna Malt must fall out of suspension quick. Let's go ahead and smell. A little sweet malt, citrus, a touch of spice, but that sweet malt is what's really sticking out. Vienna Malt per Beersmith is an SRM of 3. It does look like the color. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but here's the Beersmith glass and here's this glass. They look almost identical. So it's a little... I think the 2-row is around a 2.2, 2.1, 2 or 2.1, 2.2, somewhere in there. So this one would be a little darker, maybe introduce a little bit more toastiness. So maybe that malt is going to come out a little bit more in the Vienna version versus the 2-row version. But yeah, that citrus and a little bit of spice, I think. We'll go over it in the side-by-side, but this one has the most citrus and most spice smell out of all of them. Let's go ahead and try. Maltiness, a little bit of sweet citrus, spice. So it's almost like that Vienna malt, and because I had all the other ones, it's almost like that Vienna malt is letting that citrus and that flaked rye and rye malt shine more. It's not competing as much. That's what I would say from tasting all the other ones. I almost want to say there's a touch of like peach skin in there, in the back. Smooth, medium bodied. So that's on. What was this? What was the ABV? It's not as dry. So it's like that Vienna malt might have had more sugar in it, but I know I said there was something that I said maybe because, was it the caramel malt? That it wasn't as, because it was roasted more, there wasn't as much sugar, which this is roasted a little bit more than 2-row, so I guess it's only a 3 though, so it would probably have more sugar. If you're into a lighter tasting beer with not that much harsh bitterness and just like subtle spice and citrus, this is probably the one you would make. It's just surprising me how the different malts play with the hops or the other malts in there. Because like this one I would say is 30 to 35 IBUs. And my guess is it's over 60. Yeah, because per Beersmith, the 0.28 ounces of Centennial, which I don't know if I changed, so maybe it is a little bit lower. Because this is saying it's 8.2 and I believe it's 6. Unless I got into the other bag. That could be. That's adding 45.5 IBUs. So, I would say 30 to 35 IBUs on this one. Very, very smooth. I think this is the smoothest one. And I think that's the Vienna malt that's making it smooth like that. Maybe it's the sugar with a little bit more toasted malt in it, but I want the hops to come out more. It's almost like that spice is a little too much with the profile that's in this, and that 2-row would actually work better, and that if you're going to use Vienna malt, you might want to cut the rye in half, both the flaked rye and the rye malt, to bring it down a little bit, which is going to lower your ABV, but I think that would let the hop shine just a little bit more. Would I brew this again? No. I don't think it's balanced enough for what's in it. I want more hops in it. Is it drinkable? Yes. If somebody made this, would I drink it? Yes. Would I brew it? No. So, yeah, overall, it's good, but not one that I would brew. So if you enjoyed this review, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.